Okay. Okay, you said we're going to be just you and me in the class, okay? So we were supposed to have homework, okay? Did you do the homework?
Yes, I did.
Okay, the first one, let's go to page 10. Page 10, okay? In your book? Do you have the book in there?
Yes.
That, okay.
Wait, please. Here, yeah.
All right, okay. In here, you have to answer the questions about the article, about the reading here, right? More than just streetwise. Okay, what did you answer in the first and second questions? What did you choose? A, B, C, D.
La luz, profe. Perdón
Pues,
que está parpadeando mi luz.
okay.
Yeah. Activity 5? No. Activity 3.
Right.
Yeah. Letter A.
Yeah, the writer suggests that it is difficult to find your way around London. The possibilities were A, if you are from Manhattan, B, if you are used to cities that are laid out differently, if you don't have a good map or street directory, if you are not familiar with one-way system. You chose A?
A, but I'm also think that it could be letter C.
It's B. Letter B.
Letter B.
Yeah, because it says that in, it says here, the writer suggests that it is difficult to find your way around London. Well, the city is very confusing for tourists. And if you don't know well the place, okay, you get lost in it, okay? Okay, let's see, number 2, you said, the writer's view of people who pass the knowledge is that they, A, are very fortunate, B, are very studious, C, deserve the right to drive a taxi, D, should learn even more about their city.
Letter C, they deserve the right to drive a taxi.
No. Any opinion? Ricardo, did you have the same answer?
Which page?
Page number 10. Exercise 3. It's about the article, this article. More than
number 3.
Letter number 2.
Number 2. I have letter C for that question. No?
Oh. The writer's view of people who pass the knowledge is that the knowledge is the name of the test, right? That is the name of the test. Okay. So it's because they are very studious. You have to study a lot in order to get and to pass that examination. Okay. So that is the idea. Okay. What about number 3, Ricardo?
Letter A.
Yeah. Okay. Read the question and read your answer.
What aspect of the knowledge does the writer find most surprising? Letter A, candidates cannot use anything but their visual memory during the test.
That's right. Okay. They have to remember by heart. Nothing else.
Yeah.
No maps, nothing. Okay. Then number 4. Valentina, are you there? It seems that Valentina's connection is pretty poor.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are there. Okay. Can you answer question number 4?
Yes. Why does the writer give 3 examples of group of people whose brains have not changed? I have the letter A.
Any other possibility? Do you have all letter A?
Letter C.
Okay.
I have C.
Letter C.
Yes.
You were right. Read, Giselle.
The writer suggests studies done on the Paris.
No.
Chicago.
Number 4.
Number 4?
Yeah.
Why does
Yeah.
Why does the writer give 3 examples of groups of people whose brains have not changed?
Yeah. And you answer?
I have letter C.
Yeah, okay. Read it.
To show that cabbies have a very special ability.
Okay, so in order to pass that examination, you have to have a very special ability, right? Okay, let's see the next one, Ricardo, number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Letter D.
Okay, read the question or the top of the question and then the answer. Writer,
Okay. The writer suggests studies done on the Paris and Chicago cab drivers are surprising because the researchers didn't find what they had expected.
That's right. Okay. And Valentina, the last one, number 6. Read the question and then your answer, or tell me your answer.
What is the greatest attitude to stories about taxi drivers around the world?
What answer do you have? What is the writer's attitude to stories about taxi drivers around the world? What is your answer?
I don't have this answer.
You don't have it?
No.
Ah, okay. Giselle, do you have it?
I have letter D. She thinks potentials.
No.
I have
Ricardo, do
B.
you have any?
B.
B, that's right. Yeah, read it, Ricardo.
She is uncertain how far the stories can be relied upon.
Yeah, right. She is not sure that the stories are true because people were complaining about the taxi drivers. So she sometimes believes that they are kind of lying, okay? She's not sure about the answers. Okay, good. Now, in the vocabulary part, it says here, match the underlined words in the article with meanings 1A. We have these underlined words. We have baffled, bewildering, feat, ordeal, somewhat, fair, and frantic. Okay? Yeah. What would be number 1? A feeling of great respect. The pronunciation, Giselle. Oh,
me.
that's right. Oh is a feeling of great respect. Number 2, more than a little, but not very much. More than a little, but not very much. What is the answer?
Somewhat.
Somewhat, that's right. A terrible or painful experience that continues for a period of time.
Ordeal.
Ordeal, that's right. It's a terrible experience, ordeal. Confused.
Baffled.
Baffled. Yeah.
Confusing.
Bewildering.
An impressive achievement.
Feat.
Feat.
That's right. Be successful.
Fair.
Fair, that's right. And extremely worried and frightened.
Frantic.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so that is the vocabulary in this text. It is a long text, but you have to read it again in order to understand it better. Okay. Let's jump into the listening part now that we did the other day that I know is difficult. This page number 12. Page number 12.
Teacher.
Yes.
I wrote something in the chat for you to know.
Something in the chat. Normally I don't. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Her grandfather died. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, today we have very few people because I was reading, I think that because of the rain, there was no light in some other places. So it seems that Giselle and you are going to be the only students, and also from time to time, Valentina, but Valentina is not having a very good connection. Okay, now let's correct the task. Okay, speaker 1, which were the letters that you chose? Ricardo.
D.
Are you talking about the left
Task
part?
1 or task 2?
Task 1.
G.
E, and yeah, that is a positive thing. And the negative?
Oh, I have only one.
You did only this part.
Yes.
The first part, not the negative.
No.
Okay. Well, read the positive part then, G. What is the positive? No, the negative is in the left. What is the negative? Letter G.
The sense of claustrophobia.
Okay, Giselle, sorry. Do you have the positive part? In
The positive letter, letter D. Letter
all
D.
right, good. Read it.
Spending less time on domestic chores.
Chores, that's right. What about speaker 2? What do you think is the negative part in number 2, speaker 2?
Letter A, feeling
Right.
unsafe.
Yeah, good. You said letter A, feeling
Oh, sorry,
unsafe.
I was confused. I have the positive as well.
Okay. Yeah, so in the
Yes,
left part,
that part.
is task 1 and task 2.
Yes.
Exam focus. It says, look at the exams task, tick the things that you like, listen. I don't think it's, well, this part.
Okay.
Yeah, this part. So in this side, you have the negative, and this side, you have the positive.
Oh, yes. I have both.
Yeah, so the negative is then letter A, you said feeling unsafe. And what is the positive?
Positive. Letter C.
Yeah, okay, good.
Freedom to
furnish. Read it.
The freedom to furnish the home
not
without
furnish, furnish.
Furnish the home without limitations.
Remember that is home is a diphthong. You said home, not home. Home. Okay, the freedom to furnish the home without limitations. That is a positive aspect. For speaker number 3, what is the negative?
D.
Okay, read it, Ricardo.
The uninspiring view.
Okay, the view was awful. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the positive parts? Do you have it, Ricardo?
B.
B. Read it.
Entertainment facilities nearby.
That's right. What about speaker 4? Negative.
E.
Okay, read it.
The lack of space for preparing meals.
That's right. And negative.
The
positive.
Huh?
Positive.
Sorry, positive. Positive.
Yeah. Letter F.
That's right. Read it.
Social contact with others living nearby.
That's right. And the last one, Giselle, do you have it? Speaker 5?
Yes.
Negative and positive. Negative?
Negative, letter H.
Yeah, read it.
The noise from other people living in the building.
All right. And letter?
Positive, letter, yeah. I have letter G.
G, okay.
Being able to make good use of the entire space.
Okay, good. If we could read this again, Ricardo, what were the things that you in your house, do you have any of these ideas, positive or negative, in relation with the place you live? What negative aspects do you think your house or your apartment has? If you have something different from here, you can say it anyway, right?
No negative things like this. No, I don't have any
But
of them.
what about you personally? Do you like your house? Is it a house or or an apartment?
It's a house.
Okay.
I like it.
You like it at all? Do you think that it has only positive aspects, not negative?
Yes, I think a small negative aspect could be the absence of a garden. We have a little space with plants and some small trees, but I would like to have I don't know, grass and green area.
Yeah, green areas. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the positive aspects that you have in here? Do you have any that you have it in your house?
Yes, being able to make good use of the entire space and having a close friend next door and social contact with others living nearby. I could pick any of them. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. And Giselle, what about you? Things you like from your house? Things you don't like from your house?
I think a negative aspect, it could be an inspiring view.
Yeah.
But is something for me, just, because the place is dry. But it's dry. But there are some trees, but are fruital trees. I don't know.
Fruit trees. Fruit trees. Not fruital. Fruit trees. Okay. You have fruit trees nearby. All right. What things you like the most about your house?
The feeling of safe and the lack of space.
Yeah. Okay. It's a safe place.
Yes, it's a safe place, and I think the plenty of storage.
Yeah, plenty of space for storage. Yeah. All right. Now, the third homework that you had was to write something or talk to me about your neighborhood or your house or the place you live for 2 minutes. I told you that if you wanted, you could write something and then read it for me, or you can do it by heart, as you like. Ricardo, did you do it? Are you prepared?
So.
Okay, so try to tell me, what are you going to talk about? Are you going to talk about your house? Are you going to talk about your city? Are you going to talk about your neighborhood? What would you like to talk about?
I will talk about my house, but the time when we moved to another house.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. As you know, I live in Villa Alemana. And I have been living here for almost 15 years. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I had lived in Quilpué and Belloto too.
Previously.
Yeah, previously. And before living in Villa Alemana, we lived in Belloto in a small house. And the main reason that led us to move to another house was that we were not the owners of that house. So we were renting the house, you know, paying monthly, and the house was too small for 6 people. We were there were 6 members in my family.
Okay.
And
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes.
How many?
3.
You are 3 siblings, right?
No, we are 4, but I have 3 siblings.
Okay. Yeah.
So the house was too small and we needed more space. I don't remember the house very well, but I remember that it the house had 3 rooms, just 3 rooms.
It had 3 rooms.
Yeah, it had 3 rooms and 1 bathroom for 6 people.
Yeah.
So it was really necessary to move. And the year 2006, we moved to Villa Alemana.
All right.
And luckily, there was a school next to my house. So I enrolled in that school and started a new life completely.
Yeah, okay. What's the name of that school?
Colegio Nuevo Milenio.
Nuevo Milenio, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you feel more comfortable in your new, I mean, in this house than in the other one?
Yes, because in this house I have my own bedroom, and in the previous house I had to share the bedroom with 2 of my siblings.
All right. Okay.
So as you can see, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For all of us.
Yeah, nice. So, well, good for you, because now you can live in a better place. You have your own space, and which is very necessary, especially when you are studying, right? That is very important to have your own space. Giselle, what can you tell me? Are you going to talk about your house, your neighborhood, your city? What?
I'm going to talk about Salamanca, and prepare some slides with pictures.
Yeah, okay.
I could share with.
I don't know if multiple participants. There you are. I think I gave you the possibility to share.
Can you see?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, I'm ready. Salamanca is a commune full of arteries, veins, and capillaries. Some of these arteries are the roads of Valle Alto and Valle de Chalinga. Both are important in the landmark of Salamanca. The landmark of Salamanca is Salamanca, Tierra de Brujos, and it responds to an old legend that told the older people. This legend tells that the witches and wizards organize a meeting every Saturdays in a strange area. This place is called La Raja de Manquehua. This is a deep cave that is located in a big mountain in El Valle de Chalinga. The legend tells that in this place, the wizards met the devil inside the cave, and then they went out to fly, turned into a strange creature with the appearance of human head and bare wings. Many people have heard the bird song of this creature in the premises. Even me when I was a child, but that didn't owe me, because nobody wanted to tell me what it was until a few days later. Another recognized place is el Puente Colgante de Coyon. This is located in the town where I live. This old bridge used to connect the town with the main road, and it was suitable for high-weight vehicles. But today it's only for pedestrians.
All right.
In 2011, the bridge burned down and it had to be rebuilt. However, its pillars were preserved. And finally, the town of Coyon, where I live, has almost 300 inhabitants, and it's out of the hustle and bustle of the city.
All right. Some questions, Giselle. Well, you can say that this bridge is one of the main landmarks of the place, right? Because I imagine that everybody knows this place. I mean, it's like a characteristic place in
Yes.
Salamanca. You said that you live in Coyon. Coyon is near Salamanca. Is far from Salamanca.
It's near, but
how far? In minutes, for example, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, by car, by bus?
20 minutes by a car.
By car. 20 minutes by car. Yeah, it's not far. And you said that you had 300 inhabitants. The city or the town has 300 inhabitants. It's very, 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 very small. Have you always lived in there, Giselle?
What?
All your life?
All my life I have lived in.
Okay,
Coyon.
so I imagine that when you came to Valparaiso, it must have been a great change. How was it for you when you came to Valparaiso to study?
It was a strange experience because I don't have accustomed to the noise in the mornings.
I was not accustomed.
I was not accustomed to the noise in the morning.
Yeah.
It was horrible for me.
All right.
But by the time
you started getting used to it, right? Okay, and now if you had the possibility to come back, would you like to come back to Valparaiso, or would you prefer to continue living in Coyon or Salamanca?
I think it's more possible that I don't come back Valparaiso, because I have in that moment working in the school as a practicum.
Now you are doing your practicum in a school. Yeah.
In the Coyon school.
Yeah, okay. But in the future, I mean, not now, not immediately, but in the future, what are your plans? Are you planning to come back to Valparaiso? Are you planning to stay in Coyon? Are you planning to live in Salamanca? What are your plans? Do you have any plans?
Maybe I can move to Salamanca or Illapel. There is a small city or town, but is urban.
Yeah, it's an urban space. Where you live is kind of, I imagine, it's fully agriculture. It's like a countryside, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Giselle. Now you can leave the screen. Okay, good. Nice that you could do what you did now. Okay, now we're going to go into this next page, which is page 13, right? Yes, page 13. Okay, now, if you think about these questions, what attracts visitors to your town or city? Does it have any landmarks? Are they well known to people who have never been there? Okay. For example, I could start with Valparaiso. You live in Villa Alemana and you live in Coyon and Salamanca, right? Okay, what attracts visitors to my town, Valparaiso? I think that kind of an old town. It's a big city, but it's old. It has a lots of strange things, narrow streets, and people like to, and the hills, of course. Okay? I think that Valparaiso is very attractive to visitors because it's quite different from the rest of the cities in the world. I remember that I had some friends coming from the United States, and I always invited them to go to Viña. And my friend said, no, I don't want to go to Viña. I like Valparaiso. I want to. And he took many, many, many pictures of Valparaiso because he found it different. He found Valparaiso very different from the rest of the cities. Okay, so I think that Valparaiso is a different city. It has the ocean there. It's like an amphitheater. You can see the whole place from the hill, so it's attractive in that way. The landmarks, well, you know, all of you know, what are the landmarks of Valparaiso? You know Valparaiso. If you could help me. Which one? What are the landmarks that you remember from Valparaiso?
The port of Valparaiso.
The port, city port, yes. Okay.
Yes, and the monument that is in front of the port.
Yeah, Sotomayor Square. Okay.
Yes,
the monument of Arturo Prat's monument. All right. I would say that the funiculars is also kind of a landmark because all people go there, and it's very characteristic of the city. The funiculars, not only the one in Playa Ancha, but also the one in Polanco, etc. Yeah, you have like many funiculars in Valparaiso. All right, and okay, what about you in your cities?
I don't like to talk about my city. It's so boring and lame. I don't know.
Don't you have any kind of anything that attracts visitors?
Not really.
Not really. You don't like
No.
anything like that. So if you want to have fun, for example, where do you have to go? Now we have to stay home, but in the past.
And to have fun in
Like-
Villa Alemana, I rarely have fun here.
Yeah. Okay. So where do you usually go?
I used to go to Quilpué or Viña.
Yeah. All
At
right.
least they have cinemas.
Yeah.
We don't have cinemas or malls or things like that in Villa Alemana.
Okay. But for example, thinking about the city, for example, Ricardo, something attractive about Villa Alemana would be the quietness of the city.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Some
true.
people like that. They prefer to go to a countryside, or they prefer to go to a small town with no problems, with no noise. And I would say that Villa Alemana in that case, kind of that. Okay, it's a small town, and you don't have it's not very dangerous. I would say it's safe. Well, everywhere could be dangerous, but it's safe. And I think that could be attractive.
Hello.
Yes, Ricardo, just say. Oh, okay.
No, sorry, the screen was stuck.
Yeah, okay, and I think that it could be very attractive for people because you have to wonder why people are moving to Villa Alemana and Quilpué. Because as you can see nowadays, people are moving a lot to Villa Alemana and Quilpué. They do not stay in Valparaiso. They do not stay in Viña. Many people prefer to go to the interior because it's quieter, because it's safe, because it's not dangerous. Okay, so I would say that is the attractive part of Villa Alemana. Okay.
And the climate is so different between Valparaiso, Viña del Mar, and Quilpué, Villa Alemana.
Yeah. They're although they are very close, they are very different.
But it's different.
It's totally different. Okay, I would say that Quilpué is a little bit more cosmopolitan than Villa Alemana, right? Because it has more commerce, it has a cinema, it has a mall, so it's a little bit, like more cosmopolitan. What about your town, Giselle? Do you have any like landmark? Do you have anything that attracts the people to go to Salamanca? Let's talk about Salamanca, which is bigger.
I think the more attractive aspect is the mystic history about Salamanca, about the wizards, and that's, for example, close to my house, there are a man that is, ¿cómo puedo decir? Se hace llamar.
He's called, a man who is called.
Who's called a doctor, but with mystic powers.
All right.
And that attracts very much to city person.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know about that. I didn't know. I learned something new now about Salamanca. It seems to me that it's well, you said that it's very dry, but I imagine that it's very, very quiet. Do you have the ocean in Salamanca, or it's an interior city?
It's an interior city.
Okay, so if you want to go to the beach, where do you have to go? What is the closest town or city that has ocean or sea?
Los Vilos.
Los Vilos. Okay,
Los Vilos
and how
is
far is
closest
Vilos from Salamanca?
I don't know, maybe 300 kilometers.
Yeah, but I mean in time.
In time, 2 hours or 3 hours.
2 hours by bus,
2 hours
by taxi, by car?
By bus.
By bus.
By bus.
2 hours. So it's very inside then. Yeah. Is it close to Yabel?
It's too close to Yapel and close to the hill, to the Cordillera de los Andes.
All right, okay, the Andes Mountains.
And for that reason, the climate is special.
Yeah.
It's how I could say, cuando un clima es como especial.
It's special. No difference. It's very special, very changeable. Maybe is it changeable? That means
no, but in summer is too hot.
Yeah.
Too hot. Under 30 grades.
Over, I would say. If it is hot. Over, yeah, yes. Over 30 degrees. Yeah, all right. Yeah. And in winter it's cold.
It's too cold.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, so I know a little bit more about your towns and your places, your cities, your houses, etc. Okay, so we're going to go now into page 13. All right, and you have in there city brands. So we're going to read this. Okay, so you start, Ricardo, right? City brands.
Okay. City brands. Does your city
by the way, what is a brand, Ricardo? Do you understand the word brand?
Yes. A brand is something that something is a special characteristic of something, or a name that differentiates one thing from others.
All right. And what do you understand in here by city brands before reading?
City brand.
How would you replace brand for another word in there that could give us the
it could be a nickname for a city.
I wouldn't say so.
No.
I think that it's the brand is like the characteristic.
Oh,
Yeah, the city characteristics. It's the mark. I mean, yeah, this is the landmark. Okay, the mark of the city. So city brands would be like the characteristics. I think the characteristics of a special city. Okay, so start reading, please. Now, sorry, Ricardo.
city brands. Does your city have a famous landmark, a rich cultural tradition, or is it home to a major industry, a world-renowned hotel, or even a distinctive way of getting around like London's black cabs or Amsterdam's barges?
All right,
Barges?
barges. Okay.
Um,
Any up to there? Any vocabulary? Did you understand the idea? Does your city have a famous landmark, a rich cultural pronunciation? Ricardo, cultural.
yeah, cultural.
Cultural tradition, or is it home to a major industry, a world-renowned hotel, or even a distinctive way of getting around, like London's black cabs or Amsterdam's barges? Did you understand?
World-renowned.
Noun is very well known. Renowned is well known.
No.
Okay, that is renowned.
Okay.
I wrote here known and respected. Well known and respected. Any other? What is a barge?
Barges.
Do you know?
Like it's like a boat.
Yeah, it's long,
Yeah.
flat, very flat, not big, not
Yeah.
flat boats. Okay, in Spanish would be kind of barcaza would be in Spanish.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So they are asking you, does your city have any landmark, any renowned place, industry, or characteristic like the cabs, etc.? In Valparaiso, for example, what is we mentioned? What is renowned or characteristic of Valparaiso? The funiculars, the trolley buses, right? It's a system of transportation which is different to all others that we have in the rest of the world, or in the rest of Chile at least. You remember in Viña, for example, there were those Victorias carriages that were pulled by horses. I think that they are prohibited now. But in the past,
Yeah.
they were kind of a characteristic, right, of Viña del Mar.
Mm.
Okay, so that is the idea, all right? Always a city has something that characterizes the place. There is something that, okay, here for example, you think about Antofagasta. What is characteristic from Antofagasta?
And
La portada.
La portada. Or if you think about Punta Arenas.
penguins, no?
Yeah, the penguins could be, yeah, the cold weather. And also, but you have like two monuments which are very typical. El Ovejero, for example. One is El Ovejero, and the other one is an Indian that is in the square of the square of Punta Arenas, and people have to kiss. The thing is, the people have to kiss the toe of the Indian, but you don't have to do that because some people pee on the toe.
This is in Punta Arena?
In Punta Arenas, okay? It's a monument in the middle of the square, and then it's an Indian that is in there. And then if you, it's people kiss the toe. And it's brilliant in there, brilliant. But some guys, when they're drunk, they go in there and they pee because they know that people are going to kiss that. If you go to
that,
don't do that.
Is that monument made out of copper?
I think it is made of copper.
Yeah, but copper kills bacteria.
Really? Well, that is better. Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I know that it kills bacteria.
Okay, that would be great. I never ate anywhere, right? Because it was disgusting for me, you know. When I was there, I went with Miss Cecilia once, Miss Cecilia Arriaga,
Mm.
all right? We went there, we had a meeting with other professors from Universidad Austral and some people from Santiago. We have like a meeting of teachers, and it was a great time. I mean, I knew for the first time Punta Arenas. I loved it. The wind is pretty characteristic of Punta Arenas in certain moments, and the cold weather, of course, right? Valparaiso is a city of wind. Okay, so it's a yes.
Do you know what represents the monument? This monument in Valparaiso that is made of
Copper.
Mm-hmm.
The one that is in Argentina. Yeah, I named him. It's my name for it. I don't like it. I hate it. I think it is. I don't know. But for me, el retorcijón de guata. You know, it's like something. Yeah, for me, you know. But
it's like a nut.
Yeah, right. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what did they want to represent with that monument? Okay, well, copper, something maybe related with copper, but I don't know the effort. Really, I really don't know. But anyway, those are some characteristics that make a city special, okay, and renowned. Okay, continue reading, please, Giselle. Perhaps after Barges.
Perhaps it's a mecca for theaters, goers, musicians, or party animals. Musicians or party animals. Or maybe it's just a nice place to be. Top brand cities seem to have it all. Not only can they boast lists as long as your arm of magnificent buildings, museums, and galleries. They are also home to famous restaurants.
They are also home. Yeah.
Home to famous restaurants, glorious parks, iconic sports stadiums, and all sorts of places to see and be seen.
That's right. Any vocabulary? Boast. Do you understand the word boast?
No, I don't.
You, Ricardo? Boast?
Boast is it's like show off.
Yeah, to show off. Speak with
Yeah,
exaggeration.
Something.
Speak with exaggeration about something, okay? And usually when you are, I mean, you know, I am the best. I am the best student in the class, for example. I am boasting of my behavior, okay? That is to boast. To represent more than what you really are sometimes, okay? That is to boast. Okay, so they say here, not only can they boast, less as long as you can read here, because but in the end, these cities, they have it all, so they boast about their spaces, their monuments, their landmarks, etc. Okay, continue reading, please, Ricardo. For cities,
for cities and towns less favorably.
Yeah, favorably
endowed. The first step is establishing a brand. The first step in establishing a brand is to identify assets. Identify assets and find a way of communicating these, usually by means of a logo and a slogan. But getting the logo and slogan right is no mean feat.
All right. Okay, wait in there. Let's read this again, because I think it is important, and probably you have some doubts about the vocabulary. It says, for cities and towns less favorably endowed, the first step is in establishing a brand is to identify assets and find a way of communicating these, usually by means of a logo and a slogan. But getting the logo and a slogan right does not mean fit. Any vocabulary? Do you understand the idea?
Endowed.
And
When
though,
doubt is like with qualities. With qualities. Okay, so for cities and towns, less favorably endowed, less favorably furnished with talents and qualities, right? Or those that, for example, if you can say Salamanca is a small town, it doesn't have many attractions, it doesn't have many monuments, it doesn't have many. So what happened with these cities? In order to attract people, what do they have to do? The first step in establishing a brand is to identify assets. What is an asset?
Some characteristics.
But
That
good
was
characteristic,
important.
qualities. Yeah. So you have to find, you can say, oh, I think that this building is attractive for people. So we're going to, for example, Eiffel Tower. Okay. So at the beginning, for what I read, the French people hated the Eiffel Tower. They found it awful. They found it just a piece of garbage. They thought it was something. They were not attracted by the Eiffel Tower, but someone said, no, this could be very attractive. And so they put like the landmark of Paris, this tower, which was only iron, okay? And then it became famous. So they identified this attraction and they put it in there, in the logo, in the pictures, etc. Okay, so when you don't have many attractions, the first thing that you have to do is identify the assets or the attractions, all right? And it says there, find a way to communicate in them, all right? And usually by means of a logo or by means of a slogan, yeah? Okay, so for example, in Hollywood, they put the name Hollywood on the hills. Yeah? It's like the image of the city, right? So that is the idea. But they say getting the logo and the slogan right is no mean feat. It's not an achievement by itself. Okay, and then continue with that, Giselle. Under no circumstances.
Under no circumstances should visitors be led to believe a city can promise something it cannot deliver.
Right. Continue.
No one is impressed if a place calls itself the Sunshine Capital, but is in fact cold, wet, and windy, or claims to never sleep when by laws oblige all bars and restaurants oblige all bars and restaurants to close by midnight.
Okay, so it's saying here that the logo is not the only thing. You have to attract people by saying, telling the truth about the city. Because you say any city can be called, the city of sunshine or the sunshine city, but it's very cold and windy. Okay, or you can say no, this is the city that never sleep, and by law they have to close at 12 o'clock, right? So it's not only the logo. You have to fulfill what they promise. That is the idea, right? That is the idea. Okay, so in general, you have to realize here that it is necessary then to, if you want to attract people, you have to find things, places, activities. For example, a market, the market, the flea market in Avenida Argentina in Valparaiso. It's very attractive for lots of people. Yeah, but lots of people. So there are always some things that attract the tourists. Okay, so now what you have to do is to find those places and put them in the air so people can identify them well. Casino is something very attractive. Do you like going to the casino? Have you ever gone to a casino or not? No, you said?
Mm-mm.
No,
You have never? What about you, Ricardo?
no.
No, don't go. Yeah, it's not
We don't
good.
have money.
No, it's because you get, you know, like, you know, for me it's dangerous because I get like with desires of winning, you know, playing and playing and playing. And now the guys offer you, they have in the inside the casino. In the past you were with, I don't know, 10,000 pesos, and then you played or you gambled. To gamble is jugar to gamble, en apuesta, not play, gamble. So you gambled, you know, that that amount of money, and you were out. That's it. But now they have, you know, cash machines inside the casino, or they can give you, for example, there is a lady who is with a machine, you know, that, and so you can change. If you have a card, then they give you money there to continue playing. So it's okay. It's very attractive. Now, for example, whenever I travel, I visit the casino. Like, I love that, but I try to control myself. In general, I can control myself, you know. Usually I go to the machines, you know, but not the roulette or those things, because I mean, or the cards, because, oh, you know, the small amount to gamble is, for example, 10,000 pesos. Smallest amount. So if you lose one, you lose everything. Okay. And
Yeah.
you start like playing. So it's kind of dangerous, but it's nice. I like it. You know, for me, it's very attractive. Okay. Now we have to go into the grammar aspect of this unit, which is the most important part in this unit. We are going to work with inversion. Have you heard about inversion in your life? Yes,
And
Yes, a little.
a little.
in poetry,
No, yeah, in poetry, yes. In grammar, okay. So I wrote something about this here. Let me find it in here. Yeah. When do you use inversion? You use inversion to express emphasis in literary writings, in formal situations. Okay. Not in regular speech, but in those aspects, okay? In that case, you use the inversion. And what does it consist of? The inversion consists of that you have certain adverbials, right? Like seldom, rarely, etc. That normally the adverbials in a regular sentence in English go at the end. But when you want to do inversion, you put the adverbial at the beginning, and then you invert the subject and the auxiliary verb. The subject and the auxiliary verb. Yeah. For example, I wrote in here some sentences. For example, the regular sentence is something like this: they seldom have followed the instruction. Do you understand it, right? They seldom have followed, or they have seldom followed the instructions. That's the best way, the best order. They have seldom followed the instructions. Yeah, so that is a normal situation. But if you want to emphasize something that is not very common, in this case, seldom, so you put seldom at the beginning and you say, seldom have they, instead of saying they have, seldom have they followed the instructions. And in that case, you are doing the inversion. Okay. Now, this is the simplest way. This is the simplest way. But we're going to go now into the most complicated forms of inversion, because it has many. Okay. I think I sent you today a little audio, and also I sent you a in Google Classroom, you have the this about inversion. But anyway, I will try to share it with you. No, it's not here. Wait, I have to. But how can I get it? Share. Yeah. Okay. Be patient with me. I'm old. I have to enter everything. Yeah, this is what I sent you today. Okay. Inversion document, Word. Okay. This is the one. Are you observing there?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is the something about inversion. Yeah. Okay. It says, when do we use inversion? Inversion happens in English for emphasis, dramatic purpose, or formality. It says here, this type of inversion uses negative and limiting adverbs. These are a group of adverbs which limit the meaning of a verb or make it negative. Here you have some of the adverbs here. Hardly, never, seldom, rarely. Okay? Those adverbs are limiting. I mean, they limit the meaning of the verb. Okay? Okay, so I hardly know her. When I say I hardly know her, means that I don't know her very well. I seldom see him. That means that I don't see him very often. I rarely visit my parents, meaning that, you know, I am diminish the meaning, right? I rarely go to my parents' house. That is pretty bad, right? But it's kind of, you know, so this type of inversion uses negative and limiting adverbs. These are a group of adverbs which limit the meaning of a verb or make it negative. Okay? How do we make inversion? We have to use a negative adverb or adverb phrase at the beginning of the sentence and invert the order of the sentence by putting the auxiliary before the subject. It makes our sentence sound surprising or striking or unusual. It also sounds quite formal. Okay? Now, here I have certain adverbs and certain sentences. Hardly, never, seldom, rarely, only then, not only but, no sooner, scarcely, only later, nowhere, little, only in this way, in no way, on no account. All of them are negative or, I would say, negative adverbs. For example, here, hardly had I got, not I had got, had I got. I inverted the auxiliary with the subject, and I put the adverb at the beginning. Hardly had I got into bed when the telephone rang. What is the meaning of that sentence? Hardly had I got into bed when the telephone rang.
As soon as I got into bed, telephone started ringing.
Yeah, right. That's the idea. Okay, hardly had I got into bed. Yeah, in here you are emphasizing that it was just in the precise moment that you had gone into bed, the telephone started ringing. And that's something that happens. It's pretty typical, okay? Or you could say, hardly had I got into the shower when the telephone rang, you know? Then he said, never had she seen such a beautiful sight before. Seldom do we see such an amazing display of us. Okay, be careful in here. The The positive sentence is, we see such an amazing display of dance. You know, in the positive sentences, in the present simple and in the past simple, you don't use an auxiliary verb. Okay. For example, you say, I went to Santiago. You don't use an auxiliary. You use it in the negative or in the question, but not in the affirmative. So when you want to invert, you have to use the auxiliary. You have to place the auxiliary in there. So instead of saying seldom we see such, seldom do we see such an amazing display of dance. Yeah. Rarely will you hear such beautiful music. Here, only then did I understand. And be careful in here, for example. The original sentence is, only then I understood why the tragedy had happened. That is normal. Only then I understood. Yeah, but as you don't have an auxiliary verb, you have to use the correct auxiliary verb, which is did. But if you use did, the verb starts or passes into infinitive. Only then did I understand, etc., etc. So you have in here many examples of inversion with different adverbs or adverbials, okay? In there, you have some other things. Read this, please, Ricardo. To invert.
To invert a sentence, move the adverbial to the beginning of the sentence and invert the subject and auxiliary verb.
Yeah, there you have a normal sentence and then an inversion, an inverted sentence. For example, that is a normal. I had never met someone so interesting. That's normal, okay? But inversion, you said, never had I met someone so interesting. Never had I met someone so interesting, right? The next one, he won't, read it please, Ricardo, again.
He won't often go to work.
The same thing at home will not, in abbreviated is won't, won't. Okay, read it again. He won't.
He won't often go to work.
Becomes.
Becomes, not often will he go to work.
Okay, notice that if the auxiliary verb is negative, like in here, yeah, it becomes affirmative in the inverted sentence because not goes in there. So you take the not from the auxiliary verb and then you say, not often will he go to work, right? Yeah. Please, Giselle, read this. In cases
where the tense does not use an auxiliary verb in the affirmative, such as the present simple of the past simple, one must be added.
Okay, so if you don't have the auxiliary in the affirmative present simple, affirmative past simple, you must add the auxiliary. Either do, does for the present, did for the past in those sentences. Okay, for example, present simple. Read that, please, Giselle, sorry. I
rarely go outside.
Go, becomes, I rarely go. Diphthong, I rarely go.
I rarely go outside becomes rarely do I go outside.
Yeah, see, you didn't have in here, in this part, you didn't have an auxiliary verb. So you have to put it in here. But invert it, like a question. Do I? Rarely do I go outside. In here. Continue with the other one, please.
They don't ever know.
Don't, again, diphthong, don't, won't, You have to practice that. Don't, won't, home, etc. Okay, again.
They don't ever know what to do becomes never do they know what to do.
Yeah. They don't ever becomes never. Never do they know what to do. In the past simple, Ricardo, read it. Past simple.
Past simple. Notice how the verb changes from past tense to infinitive. She seldom worked very hard. Becomes seldom did she work very hard.
Okay. The same thing in here. Wait, the same thing here. She seldom worked. Okay. Past tense. Simple. Affirmative. You don't have an auxiliary here, but in here you have to put it. Seldom did she work. And then as you have did, the verb goes without ed. Okay, continue. The other one.
We never went to the shopping center. Becomes at no time did we go to the shopping center.
Right? Okay. Now, are you following me? Is it clear? It's kind
Yes,
of,
but
it's not, you have to be very aware in here. Okay. Now, some negative or limiting adverbials require you to complete a whole clause before the inversion takes place. Okay. For example, I didn't know what to do until I saw what had happened. Becomes not until I saw what had happened, and then the inversion. Did I know what to do? So some negative or limiting adverbials require you to complete a whole clause before the inversion takes place. For example, with not until. Not until I saw what had happened, and then the clause. In the main clause, you have the inversion. Did I know what to do? Yeah.
this one is harder.
Which one?
This not until I saw
What had happened? Did I know what to do? Yeah, that's
yes.
Kind of
This kind of inversion is harder than the previous ones.
right, because you have to know the clauses in here.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read everything and then we are going to start doing exercises. In this case, not until I saw what happened is the adverbial clause. Not until I saw what happened is the adverbial clause. The inversion takes place after this in the main clause. Hardly puts the inversion in the adverbial clause. Hardly stays at the beginning. It uses then and when to connect with the main clause. Hardly had I got home than the dog started barking. Hardly had he got into the bath when the phone rang. So hardly stays the same. Little did they know means they didn't know. The subject can be changed. Little did they know that he had stolen all of their money. Meaning they didn't know he had stolen all of their money. Little did he know that they would never meet again. Meaning he didn't know that they would never meet again. Okay, and then in here it says, here are some negative adverbs and other phrases that we often use with inversion. In the following expressions, the inversion comes in the second part. So these ones are the ones in which you have to do the first part of the sentence adverbial, and then in the second part, in the main clause, you use the inversion. For example, not until I saw John with my own eyes did I really believe he was safe. Not since Lucy left college had she had such a wonderful time. So usually not with time is this type of clauses, right? Only after I'd seen her flat did I understand why she wanted to live there. Only when we had all arrived home did I feel calm. So in this case, it's not until, not since, only after, only when, only by. You have to do first the adverbial clause, and then in the second part, you do the inversion. For example, could we? Did I? Did I understand? Had she had? Etc. And that is the inversion. Okay. For example, go back to the book, page 13, please, page 13. And in there you have some examples of sentences. It says here, are you reading? Maybe I can use the verb. I mean this is page 13. It's not so. Page 13. Wait. This one. This here. The first part is normal. The city has seldom been in greater need of energy efficient public transport than it is today. Seldom. How will you do the rest in there?
Seldom has the city been in greater need of energy efficient public transport than it is today.
That's right. Seldom has this city been. That's it. We had just ordered our meal when the waiter rudely asked us if we would mind paying the bill. Scarcely.
Scarcely just had.
No. Remember that just is the same as scarcely.
Or
Remember that you have
scarcely had order.
You have to
our
invert.
meal.
You have to invert the auxiliary with the subject. The auxiliary with the subject. The subject is we. So you have to put scarcely had we ordered.
Had we
ordered our meal when the waiter rudely asked us if we would mind paying the bill. Okay. The next one says, I have rarely seen such a brilliant display of artistry and expertise. Ricardo.
Rarely have I seen such a brilliant display of artistry and expertise.
Expertise, yeah, that's right. You have failed to hand in your essay on time, and you have also copied several paragraphs directly from the internet.
Not only have you failed to hand in your essay on time, and you have also copied several paragraphs directly from the internet.
That's right. You should not let people who don't respect the dress code into the club under any circumstances. Ricardo?
Under no circumstances should you let people who don't respect the dress code into the club.
That's it. Into the club.
I was about to read the following part that was included below.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The next one. She posted the letter and then began to regret what she had said.
No sooner.
We'll give it a try.
No sooner had she.
You don't have had in there. You have posted.
No sooner posted she the letter. No.
Posted indicates you that is simple past. As it is an affirmative form, posted doesn't have an auxiliary verb. But in the inversion, you have to use the auxiliary to make the inversion. What is the auxiliary of the past tense?
Did. No sooner did she post the letter and then began to regret what she had said.
That's right. And the other one, Ricardo, my client has never revealed the contents of this document to the media.
At no time has my client revealed the contents of this document to the media.
That's right. And the last one, I had only just finished the assignment when my boss asked me to do something else for her. Hardly.
Hardly had I finished the assignment when my boss asked me to do something else for her.
That's right. Good. That's the idea. You are getting it, okay? You are getting it. Now, let's see. I have here something else. Yeah, wait. Wait a minute. Okay, here I have a page in which you have exercises with inversions. All right. In here, you have the normal thing, and then you have to complete in there. It says, they had hardly started the meeting when the manager received a message. The meeting when the manager received a message. You have to start by the inversion there. What do you have to do?
Start by putting hardly at the beginning.
Yeah.
Hardly.
So
Hardly
Had they.
hardly had they
Starting the meeting when the manager
started.
It's
past perfect. So hardly had they started. Okay. So
the meeting when the manager received a message.
Message. That's right. She rarely allowed strangers to enter her house, Ricardo.
Rarely did she allow strangers to enter her house?
That's right. Rarely did she allow strangers to enter her house. That's right. Okay, good. So, people, I'm going to send you this page. You have in there, you can do the exercises, and then you can check it in here, right? At the end, check my test, and you will see that if you have anything correct or incorrect. Okay, so time is up. We're not going to continue. Did you notice that I got a extended Zoom now?
Oh yes.
I got it today. So we're not going to have that problem. So everything was recorded. So now after the class, I'm going to upload the recording, and I'm going to upload this page, and probably I'm going to upload some more other pages for you to practice the inversion, okay? Because it's necessary. I think that this is probably the most important part of this unit in terms of grammar. We already watched or worked with the perfect tenses and progressive tenses in the future and in the past. That was one part of grammar, and now is the inversion. Okay, so you have to practice this because just start to learning a little bit about this. Okay, so that would be all for today. Okay, see you on Thursday, hopefully with more people and with because we still have plenty of things. We have the essay. You have to write an essay, and that will be the last thing. This is the last page for this unit, and then we're going to start with unit 2. Hopefully we're going to do it next class. Okay, is that
teacher?
Yes.
We don't have a free week.
Well, I told you the last class that we were going to work on that class. I mean, on that week. And people say, yes, I don't want to impose you my my desire, but I think that you need, because we are ahead 2 weeks in comparison with the people who started. I mean, they started 2 weeks ago. And apart from the fact that they have 5 periods a week, while we have only 3. So for that reason, I think that we can't lose too much time. So I was thinking, well, it's up to you if you want to attend, but I was thinking about teaching that week anyway. Probably a little bit shorter, not so intense, but in order not to lose time, I would like to have that week anyway working.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Now, if you decide that you don't want to have a week, you just get together and tell me, okay? I can't, as I said before, I don't want to impose you things. I want you to be, I want to have an agreement with you, okay?
Okay.
That's what I want, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that will be all then for today. Have a good day and see you on Thursday.
Thank
See
you.
you,
Have a
teacher.
nice weekend.
No, we don't have a weekend still. We're in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice week.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Okay. See you then. Bye-bye.
See you.
See you on Thursday.
See you on
Bye.
Thursday. Bye-bye.